This is M-Dog20, Matt Cross, and you're listening to True Heel Heat.
You already know what time it is, man. The young goat in the building. Make sure you tune in to True Heel Heat Podcast.
This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3, and all I can say is it came home. We are here live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for NJPW King of Pro Wrestling 2024 review. Breaking down this morning card from New Japan Pro Wrestling live from Ryogoku Sumo Hall, where the G1 Climax winner, Zack Sabre Jr., became the second ever British-born IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And we're here to break it all down for you. Of course, to talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, I am joined by the MC of the past, present, and future of NJPW. It's your boy, J-News. How are you feeling?
Man, how am I feeling? Vindicated. I am elated. I'm just a happy man. Sometimes you just want to happen what needs to happen in professional wrestling, and today it happened via New Japan Pro Wrestling. But as per the usual, folks, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is your good brother J-News, and I'm back at it here again with the one and only SP3 on True Heel Heat, talking this New Japan Pro Wrestling goodness, that King of Pro Wrestling that happened this morning. For y'all that don't know, now you know. Yeah, man, good event. First 5 matches of the night. I was telling you off camera. First 5 matches of the night, they ran through that shit, man. I was like, they were on a sprint. I was like, what's going on? I was like, okay, seems like everybody's on a time crunch today. And then it seemed like the last couple of matches slowed the event down, but
except for the Junior Heavyweight Championship match.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Smart move, Gato. Smart move. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man. I think there was a lot of things put into place today, which was cool. Shook some things up. Much like AEW's Wrestle Dream had a couple of returns today, so that was cool. More indicative to the junior heavyweight division, which is fine because they needed it. Yeah, man, it's a surreal experience right now that Zack Sabre Jr. Is the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, beating Naito in what I can say, based on my own opinion and observations of 2024, being Naito's best match of the year so far.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it's either this or the Jon Moxley matchup. So the two times where he dropped the title was his best matches of the year.
I felt like for the first time in months, maybe, that there was a sense of urgency in that match for Naito. And it showed, and it did well for the story that they were telling in the ring. But yeah, man, let's get through this card and break it on down and talk about what the hell happened, man. Because there was quite a few things that happened. So yeah, man.
And this is the first time for us where we're reviewing a show on the day of.
Yes,
this is really more of a post show than a review for us here. But we appreciate y'all if you're joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video, help the YouTube algorithms, and share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms, especially those New Japan fans. They need their New Japan goodness. And the True Hill Heat YouTube channel is probably one of the main places that covers all the major shows from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Me, J-News, our usual 6-man tag team partner, Sanal, couldn't make it today, but we are sending our shout outs and our love over to her. But of course, if you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And if you're watching us on Facebook, drop a heart, drop a like, drop an angry emoji, a laughing emoji. However, NJPW King of Pro Wrestling 2024 made you feel. Let us know with those emotes on Facebook. If you're watching us on the Twitter machine, drop a heart, retweet the video. That helps out the algorithm over there. But most of all, if you're watching on any of those platforms, sound off in the live chat. We are one of the most interactive YouTube channels out there in the land. So we love to highlight your comments, hear what you thought about the show. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel and keep the train moving. And of course, if you want to have your comment highlighted on screen, the best way to do that is with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It could be $1, it could be $2, it could be $3, it could be $5, $10. Does not matter. We appreciate the support, and we will make sure your comment is highlighted on screen with us. We got Dolores in the chat, one of the members of the channel, celebrating 1 full year as a member of the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Another great way for you to support us by hitting that join button, and $1 a month gets you in-chat perks, makes you a moderator in the chat like Dolores. Thank you so much, Dolores, for joining us, and always for plugging the Patreon, patreon.com/True Hill Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content in the back. Support us when we are not right here. Dolores saying, please join THH Patreon and channel the best money you will spend. Indeed, indeed, indeed. We also got Vala B in the chat, another one of our members, another one of our moderators in the chat. He says, no hyperbole. This has to be the best New Japan put out this year, the best show New Japan put out this year. I mean, they were firing on all cylinders. Like the first quarter of the year, I thought Wrestle Kingdom was excellent. I thought Battle in the Valley was one of their best American shows that they ever produced, similar to Windy City Riot. I thought Resurgence was really good as well. But yeah, it feels like a while since they put together one this good. But I would say overall, 2024 is a step up from 2023. What about you?
So far. Yeah. I definitely.
Well, we're almost done. There's only one more major show, really, and then 2 more tournaments. That's it. So I would say already, King of Pro Wrestling through 2024 has outdid, I would say, the past 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, the past 4 years. I think this has been the best.
It's been a solid year, mind you. A lot of people have been talking about New Japan's demise. So it's like, all right, there's every company goes through a transition period at the end of the day. There's ups and downs, peaks and valleys, as we like to say, and yeah, they're trying to get back to a place that they were not too long ago. So I have to give credit where credit is due. Big props to the President Tanahashi. After him taking over the company, he has righted the ship. So
President Tanahashi, we knew to believe in you. We believed in Tanahashi. We believe in you, Tada. You had our faith all along. No, you really didn't, but it's okay. You turned it around. Turned it around. I agree, Malo B. This show was great for New Japan Pro Wrestling. As far as there was great matches, and we also had a lot of developments and noteworthy stuff that went down on this show. We got Simeon in the chat. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. He says today officially confirmed. It truly is the year of the Sabre. Let's fucking go. ZSJ winning the IWGP World title has been 6 years in the making. Indeed, I would say that Zack Sabre Jr. cemented his spot in like the top 5 wrestlers of the year.
Sure. I mean, the win itself and how he's gotten there this year and winning the G1 and not having to wait for the Wrestle Kingdom, not having to wait to Wrestle Kingdom to do it, and basically carving out his own path to the title. It makes sense that he would be considered top 5 for the year. We're still in 2024, which is still like Swerve Strickland exists. So
yeah, that's what I said. That's why I said top 5. I didn't say he's the wrestler of the year because I think Swerve has a great argument. I think Cody, as far as like the numbers, because you have to consider where wrestler of the year is not just who's having the best matches. It's not who's having the best storylines. It's who's making the most money, because that's what this sport, this business is all about. And Cody is up there, and Bryan Danielson as well. And then I'll say Zack Sabre Jr. has also made a great argument.
Yeah, I think I don't pay too much attention to the money part of it because there's so much money in the business now, and how much money these guys earn guaranteed nowadays is much more than what guys were earning back in the day, let alone 10 to 15 years ago. So a lot of that stuff is not even due to inflation. It's just the way that the business breaks down nowadays, is what it is. So I don't consider it too much, but you're right. Cody's, best-selling merch guy. He's about the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Number one guy in the biggest company in wrestling, and the company that's the hottest right now in the sport. And I would be amiss if I didn't mention. Also, there's the guy that won Wrestler of the Year last year, and just always. And if you probably did the top 10 of your matches of the year, he would probably be mentioned 8 out of 10 times. Will Ospreay has also made an argument for himself as Wrestler of the Year. So that would be my 5. I don't know what order I would have them in, but Swerve, because of his rise, finally making it to the top of AEW. Bryan Danielson on the one final year run and the spectacular matches he had this year. Cody, he's also had great matches with AJ Styles, Roman Reigns, and he's the number 1 guy in the number 1 promotion in the world today. Zack Sabre Jr. winning the G1 Climax and the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, and Will Ospreay elevating the International Championship and just having a ridiculous amount of matches of the year.
Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you can't go wrong with any of those guys in the top 5, as you stated there. It's been quite the year for professional wrestling, no matter how much complaining fans want to do on the internet. 2024 has been quite the year for professional wrestling. Sit down, shut your mouths, and enjoy it, for God's sakes. Tired of the goddamn discourse, man. God damn it. Anyways.
We said we'd be amiss because we were missing our 6-man tag team partner. I know she's going through some stuff, but just for you guys, I have sent her the link just in case she did have time. I just said if you want to jump on just to cry a bit about Zach.
She's in her feelings. She tweeted she's actually going to get to meet the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion come this week. She will be going to Royal Quest So she will be meeting the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Zack Sabre Jr. when she does attend the show this week. So good on Sanal. If she can't join us, it is what it is because of what's going on with it.
She's gonna have plenty of content over on her channel, Sanal's Life. So be tuned for that, because I know she's gotta have her victory lap for her boy, her fellow Brit, Zack Sabre Jr. But yes, we missed Sanal today, but I have sent her the link. If she does want to jump on, she is more than free to do that. We got Brandon Brown, who has also been a member of the channel for 1 year. Let's clap it up for Brandon. Thank you for the support as always. And then we also got Vala B with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Vala B, for the support. He says, Zack did it and made Naito go into the night as a champ. They had a proper New Japan main event level matchup, and that's all we wanted from Naito. Naito, with all 1.5 knees that he has and a broken freaking neck, pulled out another great New Japan Pro Wrestling main event out of his pocket.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, it serves the purpose of being able to understand what your body can and cannot do, and for all intents and purposes, understanding when you can rev it up and when you can't. When you have that sort of ability and wherewithal within your brain and your body, you know that you can at least count on Naito to make sure that the moment is a good one, specifically when it should be. And this was one, and he gave us his best in 2024, and I definitely appreciated that. The man is class personified, if we've ever seen it. I can critique and criticize him all I want for wrestling so many damn dates at this point in his career, but I'll never take away from his legacy and what he's been able to do for certain acts in New Japan throughout his tenure there. So props to Tetsuya Naito, the ingovernable one, because he seems to be the only one left to represent the crew in the top way. So, you know.
Hey, man, he's created his own kind of legacy. And I don't think a lot of people would have predicted that when he got booed out the building before facing Kazuchika Okada. What was it now, 11 years ago, when he went to challenge him after winning the G1 ahead of Wrestle Kingdom 8, and he got booed out the building. A lot of people didn't think he would make it this far, but 4th all time in New Japan Pro Wrestling main events behind Antonio Inoki, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Kazuchika Okada.
For real, man. You know, he carved out quite the legacy for himself. And you know, he's been able to do it for the last 20 or so years in top form and in his own way, right? So it's been cool to see. Obviously he's got something left in the tank, but for him to be able to do it at this level on this night and be able to be part of the legacy that Zack Sabre Jr. is going to start to build for himself as a top guy in New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's hats off to Tetsuya Naito there. Hats off.
Hats off to Naito. Keep coming with those comments in the comment section. We got a lot to get through on this show from this morning. And of course, like I said before, you're feeling generous like Valo B, send that super chat donation. And don't forget to drop the thumbs up on the video. That helps out the channel and this video so much. But let's get into King of Pro Wrestling 2024 from Ryogoku Sumo All. Over 6,000 individuals and individual fans in attendance for this show. And the show kicked off with a blister, as you had the junior heavyweights getting center stage as Hiromu Takahashi went against CMLL's historic welterweight champion Mystico. Mystico started off the matchup really fast and in a hurry, using his speed to keep Hiromu on the back foot. Hiromu eventually got back into things, doing a dragon screw leg whip, and then he continuously tried to go for his new submission. the figure 4 Cloverleaf that he has been winning multi-man matches with. Best laid out plan was in effect for Hiromu as he focused on the leg, but Mystico was able to come back. He hits a big Spanish fly off the top rope, nearly getting the 1-2-3, but Hiromu's able to kick out. Hiromu sought a tilt-a-whirl into a roll-up pin, but he was open to get the win that way with the Hiromu roll, but Mystico was able to get himself out. Mystico continuously tried to go for La Mystica. He almost got him down into the armbar that gets the instant tap out, but Hiromu was able to roll out. Eventually, Hiromu was able to lock on Mystico with the standing figure 4 Cloverleaf, and he turns over into the lock, and he locks him up. Mystico has no place to go in the middle of the ring, and I thought this was a big surprise on the night. Mystico taps out. You know this ain't CMLL because you would never see it in CMLL, but here in New Japan Pro Wrestling, we get Mystico tapping out to Hiromu Takahashi. Hiromu getting his win back against Mystico after his anniversary show where he tapped out to him with La Mystica. Post-match, Hiromu and Mystico, he basically grabs the hair and tells him that he wants the matchup that Hiromu wanted for this case, for this event. He wanted a hair versus mask matchup, but now Mystico wants it because they are now even through their 3 matches at 1-1-1. He wants to decide who's the better man in a hair versus mask matchup. This was a really, really good opener to the show. Very fast-paced. I like Hiromu's psychology here, paying off his match-long story of going after the leg and eventually putting Mystico away with the standing Cloverleaf. I gave this match 3.5 stars, a good way to kick off the show. And instantly when I heard the hair versus mask rematch, I was like, Wrestle Dynasty. That should be you got to have CMLL represented at Wrestle Dynasty. Do Hiromu versus Mystico, hair versus mask.
Yeah, because it makes the most sense now that with Naito not retaining the championship and things of that nature, and Hiromu can't necessarily, it's not going to be a
spoiler alert. I think we still are going to get Hiromu and Naito at Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, that'll be interesting. But okay,
because Wrestle Kingdom's on the 4th.
Yeah,
Wrestle Dynasty is on the 5th.
Yeah.
Hiromu's going to have 2 big matches. 4th, he's facing Naito in the match he's been wanting. And then the 5th, he gets his hair cut because Mystico ain't losing that mask.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see how it all ends up. Hopefully, because it is the legendary Apuestas match, it gets a little violent. So we get to see a little different side of Hiromu and Mystico on Wrestle Dynasty, and it all breaks down from there. But we'll see how it all breaks down, man. I mean, it was a decent match. Just talk about the match that happened now on King of Pro Wrestling. Like I said, I felt like the first 5 matches they were rushing through them for whatever the case is. Everything was very high paced. To your point, definitely surprised Mystico was tapped out in a match. So I was like, okay, so this means something. This is going to be serious here, being that he tapped out. So good showing for both of them. Decent match, and we'll see how it goes going into La Lucha de Apuestas. So Wrestle Dynasty, if we're gonna bring it down that way, then we'll see it then, and we'll see how the future shows that are going to end the year end up for Hiromu, that being historic crossover, junior tag league, and things of that nature, how he's going to be involved in those, and how it all breaks down. And I know that Mystico will make his way back to CMLL and wrestle there with a chip on his shoulder to make sure that he doesn't necessarily come into his rubber match with Hiromu without momentum. So yeah.
Good note by Vala B here. He says first Mystico lost outside of Mexico in 5 years.
Yeah, he's heavily protected, man. He's heavily protected. CMLL doesn't like their guys to lose that much, especially their forever superstar there. So we'll see how it breaks down. I mean, like you said, SP3, I don't think Mystico's losing his mask at the end of the day. but it'll be interesting to see Hiromu without hair for the first time since he was a young lion. I'll say that. So,
yeah, I would think he would do the crew cut that he used to have when he was a young lion. If he's gonna finally cut the hair. We got Valabi also saying, nah, Hiromu said he'd only want to do the match in CMLL's biggest show. What is their biggest show? Is it the anniversary show?
The anniversary show is their biggest show.
That's next year. That's in a year. That already passed.
Yeah, so the anniversary show is their biggest show because CMLL doesn't necessarily structure their stuff like AAA does. So, you know, wow. That's a ways away then. If they're gonna do it at the biggest show for CMLL, yeah, the anniversary show is their biggest show of the year. I mean, if it's gonna go down at Arena Mexico, then cool. Yeah, I'm all for it. But like, there needs to be a semblance of good marketing for it, so that at least people know to pay attention to that. If anything, for that match. So we'll see.
Yeah. We shall see. Because sometimes, you know, these guys in New Japan, they say one thing and then turn around and their match is later announced for Wrestle Dynasty.
Yeah.
But we shall see how everything pans out there. Next up, we had the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships up for grabs as the Intergalactic Jet Setters, Kushida and Kevin the Jet Knight, challenged the Bullet Club War Dogs, Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney. This one started off like in a blur. Like, it was very fast paced, basically tornado style. For a good portion of this matchup, the War Dogs leaped on their opponents. The second the bell rang, Kushida and Kevin Knight, they came back, stood their ground. That was until Connors and Maloney introduced some steel chairs and barricades. You get one spot that was great where Kevin the Jet Knight, Kushida reversed Connors by flatlining him into an open chair. He then sits Connors down in the chair. Kevin Knight runs up, leaps off the apron into a drop kick on Connors in the chair. That was a great spot there. You get Maloney getting taken out for a bit. Then he eventually makes his way back in, and Connors and Maloney start double teaming the baby faces in this one. You get a hot tag eventually where Kevin the Jet Knight comes in. He hits a soaring double clothesline to instantly turn the match in their favor, sending the War Dogs over the barricade. Knight flew across the sky with an epic freaking springboard crossbody into the front row. I was like, damn, he's taking inspiration from Bryan Danielson in his Ring of Honor days, but Bryan Danielson never got hops like that. It must be the shoes. An electric chair put Connors out of commission, but Maloney held his own with explosive moves where he, after recovering, Connors flipped Kushida across the ring, sent Kevin the Jet Knight off the apron to the floor below. We get two goers from Connors and then a combined hit and run. Nearly puts Kushida away, but he's able to kick out. Knight sent Connors off the top rope and worked with Kushida as they did a German suplex, a backslide into a jackknife pin by Kevin the Jet Knight. 1, 2, 3. The Intergalactic Jet Setters are your two-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. This was just an awesome, fast-paced matchup that just never slowed down. It was action-packed throughout. These two teams have great chemistry with one another. I got my prediction. My prediction was right. I was like, nah, the Jet Setters coming in right before Super Junior Tag League. I was like, you put the titles on them, and now the War Dogs will become favorites to win the upcoming tournament. But man, these two teams just have awesome chemistry with one another, and I really enjoyed this matchup a lot. I gave the match 4 stars. This was just go out of your way to see it because it never lets up. It's all thriller, no filler.
For sure, man. And like I said earlier, the first 5 matches felt that way. Like it was no filler at all in any of it. Like all the moves meant something. Everything was go. And especially here in this junior tag match and stuff like that. You called it SP3, man. The Jet Setters winning the tag belts here. Off of the War Dogs, the Junior War Dogs, as I like to call them, and things of that nature. Now them probably going to be the favorites for Junior Tag League going into it. We shall see how it breaks down. Look, man, for all intents and purposes, I think that Connors and Drilla have been one hell of a have been a good pairing as tag team champions. I don't think they've ever had a bad match. So good for them on that. You can see the evolution and growth and in the homie the Jet, what he's been able to do, how he's able to do it. Shouts to Walker Stewart as always. Some of the stuff that he was saying during commentary. It's gotta be the shoes.
It must be the shoes.
I was like, that's great, man. I don't know. I saw a list earlier, not today, but like sometime in the last couple of weeks or whatever the case is, breaking down, I think the top 10 best play-by-play and color commentators and stuff, and it didn't mention him there. And on either list, and I was like, man, y'all motherfuckers is missing out. I was like, Walker Stewart is great.
He's definitely top 10 play-by-play.
I'm with you there, man. And obviously we're biased to it at the end of the day, but you know, I feel like he brings such a presence and you know, for a guy so young to have the kind of voice that he has and learn Japanese wrestling the way that he has in the last year and some change, just so that he doesn't, you know, that's what a smart person does. They learn stuff that they don't know in order to be knowledgeable about it. And then they're able to present it in a way that just, you know, it not only makes the freaking wrestlers look good and on screen when you're watching them, it makes him sound terrific and like he's been there for years at the end of the day. Yeah. So I wanted to give Walker a shout out there because when he was talking about the Jet, I was like, man, this is it. These kids, man, they'll know, man. When Walker Stewart gets on the mic, and he's definitely pushing the talent that's on the screen, it's always going to be a good time. That move that the Jet did, where I think he bounced off the floor onto the apron and then off the apron onto. I was like, what?
onto Connor sitting in the chair. I was like, oh my God, this guy is so talented. If New Japan don't push him to the moon he needs to become one of the Gaijin aces of the junior heavyweight division.
Yeah, man. I can't wait for him to step into his singles mode soon. Shouts to Kush the God, bro. A lot of the time I'll be wondering if you got anything left in the tank, man, and then he'd be showing me, man. So it's like, all right, man, Kushida's still doing the damn thing. So shouts to him for being there. But to the point that you made during the preview, now that the War Dogs are without the championships, and like I said before, they're probably going to be the favorites going into the Junior Tag League tournament, depending as to maybe if the company wants to push another team altogether, depending as to who they pair. So I'm wondering how Junior Tag League is going to shake out, to be quite honest, and who's going to be paired in the Tag League. Obviously, we have the competitors in this match. Not necessarily are because they made their comebacks today. Will Yo and Wato be paired together is a question for me.
You got Joe and Kanemaru of House of Torture.
Yeah.
Ishimori has already came out and said that he's going to be in the tournament with a special partner that we don't know of yet.
Interesting.
I'm trying to think of other junior teams. There's Bushi and Titan for Los Ingonables de Japón. Is TJP injured?
I haven't seen TJ lately. I don't know what's going on.
I haven't seen TJ either, so that's why I'm asking the question, because you would think Catch 2-2 would be in the hopefully he's back for that, even if he is injured. So that's a good number of teams right there. That's about like 5-6 teams right there. We kind of heard in the post shows for press conference with Zack and TMDK. He said Kosei Fujita wants to be in Super Junior Tag League, so we might see the return of Robbie Eagles. So we have TMDK represented there. So that's a good 6-7 teams right there. So I like that lineup so far.
Yeah, so far it seems that'll line up well. Just 5 guys.
I guess Doki and Taka.
Yeah, unless they have somebody else team with Doki. Not taking anything away from the legend himself, but maybe
Yeah.
maybe they do something different.
You would just be here to take losses, Taka.
Exactly.
That's
So we'll see how that breaks down. So yeah, man, and there's no real junior tag team to represent Hontai at the end of the day. So there's that portion of it. But yeah, I think they have a pretty good lineup, unless maybe they send some CMLL and AEW talent towards the junior tag league stuff.
yeah.
I think that would be a good trip.
I would love, since we didn't mention it earlier. I see Vala B mentioned it in the chat about Yo. He says I should mention Yo coming out before the show, starting to tell the empty arena that he's medically cleared. I would love. We said it during our preview.
Yeah,
Leo, give us Leo. Now that Leo, shouts out to Leo Rush, who's officially signed with AEW, signing his second contract with All Elite Wrestling, and he seems like he's in a better place with them in 2024 in comparison to where they were in 2021, 2022. So I'm hoping that he can get some time off to go over to NJPW and work Super Junior Tag League.
We might have reason to believe that he will be at this junior tag league with Yo, because I think he might be written off of TV on Wednesday, if you know what I'm saying.
I mean, he did run a miss with the Hurt Syndicate and Shelton Benjamin, so yeah.
So there's that. But shouts to Leo for getting his second deal with AEW. He's been doing tremendous work. I think that he's a good person to have with the young boys over at Top Flight and that crew and that dynamic. And
I love the Top Flight.
Huh?
Send us Top
Yeah,
Flight.
that's what I was going to say. That was
Flight, Tony.
That was like intentionally in my brain. That's what I wanted to say. I think that the tag team that probably benefit the most from going to junior tag would be Top Flight. So I would like to see that. If Leo can't make it out, Top Flight be part of that. Because I don't want to see Taguchi and freaking and Wato again as a tag team. Give me something else. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Wato and Despy, but maybe Despy's not back in time. So I don't know.
Probably not, because I think we would have saw him on this show if he's going to be back for that. Maybe they're saving him up for historic crossover in November.
Yeah.
But yes. We're all on the same page, Vala B. We all thinking with the same brain. We want to see some Top Flight. This Top Flight seems like they're even getting a push right now. So I wouldn't mind that at all. But let's talk about some more tag team wrestling, as we had the IWGP World Tag Team Championships up for grabs. TMDK, represented by Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste, versus the Bullet Club Rogue Army of Bad Luck Fale and Caveman Ugg. I came in here with very low expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, oh boy, did they exceed my low expectations, because Caveman Ugg might be my new favorite person. Oh my God, this monster of a man just came out, and he knew he had to stand out in his first New Japan Pro Wrestling outing. You had the big men in this one really kind of taking over and picking apart TMDK to open up the matchup. Ugg even dispatched of Nichols, throwing his entire weight on him with a big splash, threw a table on Nichols that took him out for the early portion of this matchup. Things looked just as dire for Hayes as Hug hit him with a fucking shotgun boot. I've seen shotgun drop kicks, John Woo kicks, as they call it, but I've never seen a shotgun boot. And the fucking Hayes went crashing into the turnbuckle in the corner. He left him worse for wear. Every time he would try to get over to the TMDK corner, Nichols was not up yet. Finding enough adrenaline to enact a defensive attack, Hayes made his comeback. He got a missile drop kick off. Nichols eventually got back into the matchup. He failed. He hit a big spike DDT on Ugg, slid to topple Fale, who was on the outside. The treacherous Ugg nearly squashed both Haste and Nichols, but they were able to hit the power bottom for a near fall, with Ugg showing his resilience, kicking out. But then they hit Thunder Valley for the 1-2-3 for TMDK to retain the IWGP World Tag Team Championships. Bad Luck Fale is just like I'll give Bad Luck Fale credit where credit is due, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have heard the superior Bullet Club theme. That's the only reason we were able to hear the original Bullet Club theme, which is the superior Bullet Club theme. But they played to his strengths here. They made him look strong. He got taken out early, but this was a showcase for Caveman Ugg, who made a great first impression. But TMDK pulling out the victory here. This was a fine matchup. I gave it 3 stars, which is much higher than I thought I would give this one. Post-match, though, very interesting post-match, as we had the United Empire's Great Okan, the KOPW 2024 Provisional Champion, and former Never Openweight Champion Hanare emerge. They challenged TMDK for the IWGP World Tag Team Championships, and that seems like we're going to get that matchup coming up at Power Struggle in November, so we got to be on the lookout for that match announcement. But in the meantime, between time, TMDK has to get on the flight over to the UK as they will defend the NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships against the president, the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi and Tomohiro Ishii, which should be a great matchup, I think. But I enjoyed this one way more than I thought I would, J-News. And I like the post-match with United Empire coming out as the challengers.
Look, man, I wasn't expecting much, man. You know, I'm not, there isn't much footage of New Japan Tamashi stuff on Japan World. So I don't get to see much of the Australian talent that they have been working with over there. Shout out to Bad Luck Fale for having the Fale Dojo open and doing the Lord's work over on that side of the planet. And Caveman Ugg impressed. I wanted to say and take and use a phrase from the business. This was quite the bit of business that was done in the ring today. TMDK making Caveman Ugg look like $1 million, and vice versa, because Caveman Ugg was the one who took the finisher at the end of the day. So I feel like that was cool. It was good to see new blood in NJPW show out and have a good showing in a tag match like they did there. So probably Caveman Ugg's part of the Rogue Army, not necessarily part of the Bullet Club. So, you know, we'll see more of him in the future. Bigger and better things. TMDK winning this match made all the sense in the world, because why would a brand new tag team beat an established tag team in that sense? But you know, it is this match did what it was supposed to do at the end of the day. Shouts to Mr. Bonda for the Caveman Ugg comparison to Big Damo.
Yes.
I think
I see that.
That's dead on, because Damo was, man, I missed that freak. That era when the UK Indies was on fire, man. Damo was, he's back there now. He's still doing his shouts with the ICW and Progress and stuff like that or whatever. But I think he was a missed opportunity in the WWE, but that's another conversation for another day.
Agreed.
You know, it with this, like I said, this match did what it was supposed to do. Another quick match. They were firing on all cylinders with this one, and it did what it was supposed to do. I think that rating of a solid 3. I'm with that as well.
Yeah. We got Alex Powell, who says they need to belt up Shane Hayes, Chase Owens, and Fale. Also, stop your trolling. Stop your trolling, sir. I told you I had PTSD on the preview of Bad Luck Fale with the IWGP Tag Team titles. They treated him well here, though. I'll give them credit for that. Next up was one of the matches I was looking forward to the most on this card, J-News, for the Never Openweight Championship. Shingo Takagi starting off his 5th reign with the title in his first defense against Ryohei Uyowa of TMDK. And man, this was Uyowa's first big test after his excursion over in Pro Wrestling Noah. And I would give him an A, because this man came out and he came to have a banger with one of the best wrestlers in the world today. Uyowa had an early advantage, taking control of Takagi's left arm, but the veteran champion wrestled back into the matchup. He took Uyowa to the mat. Takagi unleashed a sliding, pumping bomber, but couldn't get the 1, 2, 3. surviving a standing pumping bomber and the Made in Japan. Uyowa's kind of really showed his resilience and his determination to fight through. He refused to go down so easily. He got on the choke. He went for the grip, but Takagi kept trying to block it, the discus lariat. He eventually hits the grip, but then he doesn't go for the cover. He instead hits a masterclass Dr. Bomb for a near fall. He withstand 2 pumping bombers and a power bomb of his own, kicking out at 2, showing that he would not give up. He would not quit. Unfortunately for him, Shingo Takagi is relentless as he hits one more pumping bomber, turning him inside out, and then he hits him with the last of the dragon and took his time to hit it standing, showcasing Uoha before he finally hit it for the 1-2-3. This was a banger of a matchup. 2 horses just going out there and just beating the hell out of each other. Hard lariats, hard big forearms, hard chops. The pumping bombers were ridiculous. Uyowa's got a lariat of his own out there, but I really enjoyed this one. I give it 4.25 stars. I think that Uyowa is going to be a great addition to the never open weight division if that's his future. We did get a brief stare down with Takagi and Kosei Fujita, who's been hinting at he wanted to verse Uyowa for the never open weight championship at Wrestle Kingdom if Uyowa won this matchup, but he did have a little bit of a stare down with Takagi here. Takagi, man, he's one of the best. He's one of the best, but Uyowa might be up there. He might be in the conversation with Tsuji as the guys to kind of put the company on their back in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yep.
J-News, what did you think of this one?
I thought it was yet again, because this is within the first 5 matches. It went way quicker than I anticipated.
About 12 and a half minutes, this one.
Yeah. And they tried to fit everything in as best as they could. It gave us a good initial sense of what Oi was going to be able to bring into the ring. Takagi's never going to fail us, I think. So, it was a good title defense for Takagi there. I was hoping for the shock win, but stuff doesn't go down that way. It was solid, man. It was solid. But my thing about it was I just hope that it was a longer match. But maybe sometime down the road they'll have a longer match. But they gave us good action within that 12 minutes.
Yeah. We got here Dustin. Good to see you in the chat, brother. He says Uyoha definitely showed his worth in that match. I know he has a second gear already. His moveset still needs work. Yeah, I don't think the grip is going to be a long-term option for him as a finisher. I think he needs something more impactful. That Dr. Bomb, I would say that should be his finisher. The grip into the Dr. Bomb.
The grip into the Dr. The combination should be the finisher. Yeah. I'm with that. I'm definitely with that. I think the grip by itself is not going to work just because the lariat in 2024 isn't the biggest finisher. Unless you're having like one of those endurance matches or whatever the case is, and you need to pull out some move out of your ass to win a match and stuff like that. But in this particular case, I think the combination of the grit into the Dr. Bomb works just because so many people are using the Dr. Bomb nowadays as a finisher to begin with. So the combo moves, I think here work best to set up a finish for certain talents and stuff like that. I mean, we've been watching Suzuki use the freaking sleeper into the Gotch-style pile driver for years, so it works. It works. So I think it's a solid combination. We're definitely going to see more out of Oiwa's moveset and what he can bring into a match. I want to see more of that fighting spirit sort of style. Which is why I wanted more length in the match. We didn't get that. Fighting spirit only works with length in a match, I feel. So
True.
That was a missed opportunity there. But yet again, his first big match back, can't necessarily knock it too much. And Shingo's always doing a goddamn thing. So this is not the last time we saw Shingo on the show. So decent enough match to get through the middle of the show.
We got Call Me Mr. Bonda. He says, I may be jumping the gun here, but I think someday Ichiban Sweet Boy Kosei Fujita will be the one to retire Shingo Takagi one day. I don't want to think about Shingo Takagi retiring. Shingo Takagi is lucky enough.
Yeah.
He gained a name for himself and a legacy over in Dragon Gate, and he wasn't here in New Japan in like the 2010s, where basically all the main event stars just beat the hell out of their bodies. That's why Tanahashi is about to retire. That's why Naito seems like he's on his last wings. That's why it looks like Okada went to AEW for the big payday and to take some weeks off and not go through the New Japan grind anymore. Like Shingo Takagi, we got him for a few more years, unlike Naito when they started at basically the same time. So I don't want to think about him retiring. That's just me. I'm a Shingo. We also got here Genesis J, the #1 J-News fan. Good to see you in the chat, good brother, and thank you so much for the super chat donation. He says match of the night for me. I don't blame you. Like I said, I gave it 4 1/4, 4 stars, 4 1/4 is where I was at with this one. This was a banger of a matchup, and like I said, it was a good kind of sample of what Uiwa can offer.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a good sample's the word. Absolutely, sample is the word. Yeah.
Vala B saying his Noah finisher is good. I don't think I remember it. Yeah, the Dr. Bomb. It was the Dr. Bomb. Yeah, Dustin saying his jacket though looked ace, and then he says the Dr. Bomb was his finisher in Noah's. Yeah. But yeah, Dustin's also right. That may not want him and Gabe to have the same finisher because Gabe basically, but Gabe still's got drill a hole.
Yeah, but he's been using the Dr. Bomb as a finisher as well.
I know. The Madman Bomb.
Yeah, the Madman Bomb. And it's like Willow uses it too. And it's like, once you go for a gut wrench, you don't necessarily, nowadays when I see someone go for a gut wrench, I'm thinking more Dr. Bomb than I'm thinking like a swing or like just a plain old suplex or something like that. So it's like, all right, you've ingrained it into our minds enough. I think too many people use this freaking finish people off.
Fair. I don't think Gabe needs it more than I think drill a hole is perfectly fine. Next up was the 5th match on the card for the NJPW World Television Championship. It was Jeff Cobb defending against Yota Tsuji and House of Torture's own Ren Narita. This one was basically going off the heels of the Road to Destruction matchup that went to a 15-minute time limit between Cobb and Tsuji. Their foes last month were now allies as Cobb and Tsuji took to chopping down Narita in the early portion of this matchup. With him out of the picture, though, we got Cobb and Tsuji, who always have a good amount of chemistry with one another. They resume their rivalry. We get Tsuji using some of the lucha on Cobb, doing a nice little handspring arm drag at one point. The work on Narita was not enough, though, as he started to go after Cobb's left leg before Tsuji broke it up. Into the crowd, Narita threw Tsuji and Cobb into the wreckage of chairs and barricades. We get Cobb stacking Tsuji and Narita on his shoulders atop the uppermost turnbuckle and set both down with a Samoan drop to a thunderous sound. You get Tsuji hitting a curb stomp on Narita during a pinfall as he rolled up Cobb. That was a nice little combo there. Then he went for a double pin with both of them kicking out. We had a curb stomp to Cobb, which was thwarted by Cobb just basically doing a push-up and stopping Tsuji from stomping him. He tried for the Tour of the Islands, but that was reversed. He went for a second one, and he hits it on Tsuji, but then Narita comes in. He drags the referee out before the 1, 2, 3. He grabs the push-up bar, and he punches out Cobb, knocking him out with Tsuji out of the way after the Tour of the Islands. He then picks Cobb up, hits the double cross. 1, 2, 3. Ren Narita is your new NJPW World Television Championship. He's finally won the title that he was in the finals of the inaugural tournament for. I did enjoy kind of how they worked this one with the heel, kind of using underhanded tactics, taking advantage of the referee being out of it. They stacked the odds, increased the risk, and there was a lot of sense of urgency here. I like a three-way matchup with the 15-minute time limit because we knew it wasn't going to be longer than 15 minutes, and that kept it to, like we said before, all thriller, no filler. So I did enjoy this matchup a lot more than other people seem to have. I gave the match 3.5 stars, and I know much of the disdain for this matchup is due to a member of House of Torture becoming the champion in New Japan and becoming television champion, ending what I thought was a solid reign for Jeff Cobb. But I this is another prediction I got right, J-News. I said Red Narita is probably going to win this one.
Yeah, I know, man. I know you prefer to be right more times than lead with the fandom part of it, which is fine. But for me, I think I read something online earlier talking about, well, this, New Japan likes to do long-term storytelling, and this goes back to when Narita was supposed to win the television championship based on the tournament, and he didn't get to win, and now he finally wins. And I was like, yeah, but he didn't win the way he was supposed to win. He used the push-up bar to win a match. Like, come on now, man.
Hey, at least we didn't get 101 run-ins, J-News. We gotta take what we can get, man.
I've never seen a man do more with less than Ren Narita. But that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. I've never seen a man do more with less than Ren Narita, man. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. He ain't even got the charisma, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we supposed to get out of this? What are we supposed to get out of this?
I liked commentary, making it sound good. Walker Stewart and Chris Charlton saying that Ren Narita is basically a student of Katamaru, and he's the heavyweight version of Katamaru.
Nah, he ain't the heel master, man. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. You ain't gonna sell me on that. I know what the guys are trying to do. I get all that. I know what the guys are trying to do. I get the psychology of it all. He is not the heel master. Far from. Get out of here with that Ren Narita BS.
Your Ren Narita hate is not becoming of someone on here, man. You got to show the man some love. He's a champion now. You got to respect the champion.
I don't have to do a damn thing, and especially for Ren Narita. Get out of here with that mess. Show me that you can actually work a match in a way and or a style that is going to either solidify you as somebody in the mid card or make you look like $1 million. He hasn't done any of that. So until Red Narita does that, brother, you're gonna be on the shit list, and that is okay. That is okay. As long as you're confident.
I just don't like his finisher being the Bella Buster.
Yeah, they still need to get rid of that, man. And I get it. They do it on purpose because he's always going to use the push-up bar before he hits it because they know a Bella Buster's not beating anybody. So he's always got to use the push-up bar first. And or someone's someone coming in and running interference for him and stuff like that. Because it's like, come on, man. What? A Bella Buster? A face buster? Come on, man. Come on. I don't know. Absolutely not. Absolutely.
X Factor.
Yes.
We got Genesis J who says, I knew Ren sneaky ass was going to win, but damn, it hurt seeing him win that title. Wish Cobb retained or Tsuji. I knew this wasn't the moment for Tsuji. I just knew it wasn't.
I don't know what they're waiting for necessarily with Tsuji, man, but
Wrestle Kingdom.
I guess.
And it's not going to be for no damn TV title. It's going to be for the Global Heavyweight Championship because right. Finley sets it up in his promo later that he wants to avenge losses from the G1 Climax, and there was only one guy who beat him twice in the tournament.
All right, good enough. So we got that coming. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I can't stand on the side of Red Narita here. I just can't. I can't do it.
All you're hating on Red Narita when you should be celebrating me for being right about Red Narita. I told y'all. I tried to tell y'all. This is why y'all gotta watch the preview and the review. Where you get the preview, you can put your money down. You can put the money down now, and I got so much right on this show. Jet Setters new champions. Ronda Rita new champion. Put some respect on my name.
All right, man. Toot your horn, brother. Toot your horn. At the end of the day, this Red Narita madness, it can't last long, man. It can't last long.
Nah, he'll probably lose that recipe. It's a short run. Just a short run. He had to do it. He had to get a championship under his belt. And we got plenty of people agreeing with J-News and not agreeing with me when you should be praising me.
What about me?
What about me? What about Raven? Yes, we know.
Man.
I only call it the Bella Buster thanks to our good friend Scott E. Wrestling, who said that Red Narita does the Bella Buster. He didn't say X Factor because he's like, that's not even a proper X Factor. It's the Bella Buster.
To talk about what Scott E talks about. As a matter of fact, I'm going to predict this. It's not going to happen, but just for shits and giggles, Red Narita loses the New Japan World TV Championship to Lady C at a Star crossover. That's my call right now. That's my call right now.
Hey, well, we already know that one New Japan title is going to be defended against the ladies of Stardom because Great O'Khan showed up at Stardom and made a challenge to anyone on the roster. Who do you think is going to accept that?
Bozilla, probably. Huh? Bozilla, probably.
Well, no, it's for the members of Stardom. Not Marigo.
Maybe Cena. Maybe Xena.
Ooh.
Yeah. She can hang. Xena can hang.
I would have said Micah, but Micah's in the main event.
She's in the main event
with Zack against Starlight Kid, and that's a good show. I like that. I like
her. Wait, is Hanako on Stardom?
Yeah.
Hanako's
a good job. Yeah, she's big enough. She's big enough. She can take him down. She can take him down. Or maybe they call up Megan Bain to return.
I doubt that. She hasn't been back to Japan since she left. You know, she's over here being HOG women's champion and stuff like that, or whatever the case is, and showing out and yeah.
Dustin saying Suji versus Finley at the Dome, but man, I don't care about that match. They've had 3 matches already this year, and all of them were good to great though.
Yeah, they were good.
Especially the G1 match. The G1 match was fantastic.
Yeah, I think
the second one. The first one was really good. The second one was probably in my top 5 matches of the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, the rubber match. If Suji wins, Suji gets crowned. And if they abide by bloodline rules, there's consequences to losses, right? At the end of the day,
this guy always trying to get my man's clips out here in these streets. Like, goddamn. We shall see. We shall see. But who would you think should be the one to dethrone Narita if we think Narita is going to lose that wrestle?
I mean, it depends, right? Narita was in the G1, obviously.
I know who could do it. El Phantasmo.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Give me ELP as TV champ. Hell yeah. Yeah. Give him something different to do. Yeah, absolutely.
Before we get into the next matchup, one of the big noteworthy things that happened on this show is that we got a pre-recorded video from the reigning AEW World Tag Team Champions, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the Young Bucks, the EVPs of All Elite Wrestling, where they announced that they are returning to Japan for the first time since 2019. They'll be on a New Japan show coming up January 5th, the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Dynasty. Now my question to you, J-News, what is 0 to 100, kind of what we do on the True Hill Heat Flagship podcast?
Yeah.
Would you say that the people that will face the Young Bucks will be either Golden Lovers or Omega and Tanahashi?
I would say it's going to be Omega and Tanahashi, not the Golden Lovers. Just because I feel like Ibushi's been doing his reps on DDT and not New Japan. So I would think it's going to be the Perez and Kenny to go up against the Bucks. It was. I know that the Japanese crowd isn't one to go crazy for vignettes and pre-tape stuff, but by majority, we always hear them emote, right? They have some sort of reaction, right? It's probably the weakest reaction I've ever seen to anything Young Bucks related in a very, very long time. So I'm not too sure if, they were as beloved as they think they were in Japan, but, we'll see how it boils over. But I'm going with the Prez and Kenny to go up against the Bucks in Japan at Wrestle Dynasty. So we'll see how that all boils down. Shouts to the Bucks. Shouts to the EVPs for having a tremendous tag team match over the weekend at Wrestle Dream. They're
on a good run. They have to me, they have turned their title reign around, because like 3 months ago, I was like, this might be the worst AEW World Tag Team title run that I've ever seen from the Young Bucks, let alone in AEW. But I think between the good 3-way matchup at All In, a very good matchup with Yuta and Claudio at All Out, one of the best TV matches of the year against Ospreay and Fletcher, and then a great matchup with Private Party, arguably Private Party's best matchup in AEW. I think they turned it around.
Yeah, man, they were for a bit there. Not just them, but the tag team division was just dead in the water. So they're revitalizing that, which is a good thing for AEW, and hopefully it lends itself to, like I said, to junior tag league and regular tag league come up next if we see some of the AEW talents come over to Japan for a couple of weeks and show off.
Agreed there with Alex Powell, who says Kenny going to get a great reaction when he's announced for Wrestle Dynasty.
Because they love him in Japan. They love Kenny in Japan.
He's one of like the Mount Rushmore of gaijins.
Yeah. It's Kenny Omega and Stan Hansen. It's Bruiser Brody and not much. Ken Norton. You know what I'm saying? He's up there.
I mean, I would probably put Ospreay in there.
Ospreay too, of the guys of this generation, yeah, for sure. Ospreay, and stuff like that. So yeah.
Then you got next the sixth match on the card: Hiroshi Tanahashi's 25th anniversary matchup as he teamed up with Shota Umino and El Phantasmo with Jado to face the House of Torture Evil, Yujiro Takahashi, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru with Dick Togo in their corner. You had Tanahashi and the crew. They were sponsored by the Gladiator 2, so they came out in Gladiator wear for Tanahashi's 25th anniversary matchup. The Ace was looking quite uncomfortable with this gear on, even though I think El Phantasmo embraced it the most. Mm-hmm. House of Torture opted for an early beatdown on the babyface team, and despite their latter's best efforts, the odds were not favorable for them. Umino turned the tide with a spirited flurry of offense for himself, with Tanahashi following suit. He hit the senton-laden pin on Takahashi, but he was able to kick out. This momentum was stalled with the Ace handicapped by the dick-to-dick contact with Umino and Phantasmo coming in for the save, tricking the referee by setting Evil up to be caught with the signature House of Torture stick. Umino proved to be enough of a distraction for Tanahashi to finally put things away with the high fly flow. We get the Gladiator trio picking up the victory here as Tanahashi gets ready to further celebrate his 25th anniversary when he teams with Tomohiro Ishii against TMDK for the NJPW Strong Tag Team titles. But we did get a speech from Tanahashi, and I'm thinking, okay, speech from Tanahashi. They're probably just, him talking about 25 years in New Japan Pro Wrestling and whatnot. But no, we got big news here as Tanahashi thanked the crowd, expressing that he wanted to keep fighting forever. But the finish line is in sight. In the ring, he declared January 4th, 2026 would be his final match in professional wrestling. As he held back tears, talking about he was like, you will see the 26th anniversary for himself, but they would be no 27th, as he will retire at Wrestle Kingdom 20. The man, Mr. Wrestle Kingdom, retiring at Wrestle Kingdom doesn't get better than that. But his little speech did not last long, as Evil in the House of Torture basically jumped him. We get El Phantasmo attempting to make the save, but Ren Narita comes in and nails him with the push-up bar. Evil gets on the mic and he says NJPW is his house. Tanahashi doesn't get to retire without his say-so. This was standard House of Torture fare with the matchup. So I gave the match like two and three quarters. Wasn't that bad for a House of Torture matchup, but it's more about the news. The end of an era for New Japan Forward. What is going on? Did they all like have a did Cena, Bryan Danielson, and Tanahashi have like a conference call and said that, hey guys, we all got to retire around the same time?
You know, it's interesting, man, because the reasons for retirement are all different, I feel.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that John can't do it anymore, because he can. It's just that he has other ventures, right? At the end of the day. Brian doesn't. He's choosing to step out. Physically, he's battered and beat. We all know that at the end of the day. But he's still the GOAT when he's out there. Even when he's 80% of Daniel Bryan is better than 100% of a lot of professional wrestlers nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So we got that. But Tana's been, and I've said this, and I know I've been harsh about it, but Tana's been cooked for a while. But it doesn't erase the legacy that he has. You know what I'm saying? He is of the last generation of the Three Musketeers that everybody held on to. It's interesting that it's interesting that when he retires, Shinsuke's probably still going to be wrestling, right? And man, because I just saw something come up where Shinsuke's going to do another match at Noah.
Yeah, he's announced for Noah's the new year coming up on January 1st. He'll be versing Yuruka Sakazaki. But since we're talking about Tanahashi, another big Tanahashi fan just popped in. She's making a run in, I guess, because we weren't expecting her, but she's here. Our third of our never open weight 6-man tag team champions. Sanal's here.
Hello. Honestly, I was like, things have been crazy at home, but I was like, right. The show today was amazing. So as long as I can catch and speak about the last few matches, I am going to try my hardest. And here I am. I'm here. I was actually, to be fair, I was eating and I was listening and watching. And I was like, right, let me eat, and then I'm going to get on.
She waited till we got to Tanahashi retiring.
Yeah.
She knows how to pick her spots. She's a good spot caller. It's good to see you, Sanal.
Absolutely.
Nice to be here.
Hi, Sanal. I wanted to finish this point here. It's interesting that we saw how Shibata damn near he retired for 4 years due to injury, and then he came back. And if that match against Jack Perry shows us anything, is that the wrestler's still the wrestler at the end of the day. Yeah, man, it's just sad for Tana to be the first one down of that trio, you know, and seeing where everyone is at in their careers at this point. It's like he's the one who's beat down the most, you know. And Shibata wrestled a much stiffer and much more violent style. You know, so I would have expected Shibata to been done, but he's got, it seems like years left in the tank at this point. And you know, Shinsuke's over doing the WWE thing, and he's surfing every week and shit like that. So he
only wrestling. This is only gonna be what his like 5th match this year coming up. I don't know.
So end of an era for sure. So I then would want to say this: by January 4th, 2026, this newer generation of New Japan wrestlers better be at a certain level by the time he retires. Because if they're not, you know, we're not going to be in the dark ages because we're out of that part at this point. But it'll be tough for him to retire and not have the newer generation bubbling at a certain level by the time he steps away from the ring. So I want to see at least that come to fruition by the time he hangs it up in the ring.
So, now, what was your reaction to Tanahashi's announcement of his retirement?
Like, when he got the mic, I thought, oh, he's just gonna be like really cool. And then as soon as I saw his face, I was like, ah, shit, like this is not good. And when he said it, I thought he was joking. I thought he was gonna like, psych. But then when he mentioned 2026, I was like, no, that actually, like, it makes sense. It's a good goal to look to. Do you know what I mean? Like, he realizes his body is not in good shape. But also he realizes, on the other hand, he has the job as the president. And I can't imagine that it's easy balancing all of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, he's like, being a wrestler is great for that. But I think his Tanahashi can now stay. It's quite funny. I think he did a quote or something in an interview and said, I've never said I'm tired. But after that match on January the 4th, 2026, I'm going to say I'm tired. And if you think about it, he's been working nonstop for 20 years, over 20 years. And like, whereas I think, you know, like wrestlers have said that they want to like calm down and they'll like slow down. Tana's been the kind of guy who's always been like 100%. Similar, Naito has said the same thing. He wants to go 100%. Same with Zack. Zack even was like, I'm going to go 100% and then like one day you'll just never see me wrestling again. And I think that's a great legacy. But J-News is right. Like, the guys need to step up because we all know Naito is coming to the end. We've still got guys like, because you were mentioning Shibata's going to go for a long time. Guys like Goto are still going to be going. Shingo, they've got so many more years. But to lose Tanahashi, it's not a small feat. Like, it is like, he is New Japan. So it's going to be hard. And I guess, like, he's probably going to do Jushin Thunder Live. You know, we see him on, like, commentary and stuff. But it's never going to be the same. So it was really sad. I was like, no, Tana. Heartbreak number 2.
I was like, damn, this is crazy. This is crazy. But we're going to get the retirement tour 2025, his final year. The final year of John Cena and Hiroshi Tanahashi. They're going to be retiring.
Daniel Bryan went like Bryan Danielson went a few days ago. What's happening? Why is everyone going now?
I said before you got on here, I was like, they got a group chat where they was like, we need to retire around the same time. But Tanahashi and John Cena have been compared to each other for the better part of the last 2 decades. And to know that they're going to retire basically a week apart. John Cena said he's going to December, the end of December, and Tanahashi's going to retire at the beginning of January.
But I like that he's picked Wrestle Kingdom. Like, similar to like it seems like the place where he's had so many main events, where he's basically been at the top. It's the perfect place. I'm kind of like, oh, I might have to take another trip in 2026.
He's Mr. Wrestle Kingdom. It's only appropriate he finishes off Wrestle Kingdom 20. That too.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about this next one here for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Don't worry, I'll be fast, just like this match. You had Sho attacking Doki. Doki defending the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship against Sho of House of Torture. House of Torture, usual nonsense. Sho attacks Doki before the match even starts, going so far as to throw the Young Lions onto the referee, Marty Asami, taking Doki to the ring to further inflict damage to earn an easy, unearned victory. But he makes the mistake of unmasking Doki, who turns into an absolute demon. He has the Kishin Liger image on his face. Doki stops Sho from using the wrench, and he spits red mist into his face. He then delivers suplex de la Luna once. The referee comes in and rings the bell. He rolls through on suplex de la Luna and then hits a second one. 1, 2, 3, 14 seconds, the shortest IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship matchup of all time, according to Chris Sampson of NJPW1972.com. Doki picks up the victory. They put the mask back on him, and he turns back into normal Doki. But then he is attacked by Yoshinobu Kanemaru, attacked from behind, who hits him with a a steel chair. But before he can inflict more damage on him, Master Wato, black-haired Master Wato, regular-looking Master Wato, resumed his quest to the Grandmaster. He is back in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He lays out Kanemaru. He then gets on the mic and he hands the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship to Doki and signals he wants a title match against Doki. Man, I would say this Doki run has been good, but man, I was very happy to see Master Wato, and I think he should be the guy that eventually is the one that dethrones Doki here, because Master Wato is long overdue for his run with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Not going to give a star rating on the match because wasn't much of a match, but this was a lot of fun. I like
5 stars for so short. Thank you for not inflicting show on us for longer than 14 seconds.
Doki with the new demon character, that was cool. Master Wato's return, this was fun. What did you think, Sanal?
So I love pro wrestling, but my heart has never beat so much when because like we all know, like people get unmasked and like Despy has done it many times, but I didn't like when Doki. The first thing I was like, oh, he's going to be handsome, but actually, like it was like my heart was racing because this is so different. Because I think with like when Jushin Thunder Liger did Kishin Liger, we knew about that. We'd seen it in the past. No one ever knew this iteration of Doki. No. And it was almost like, because when Show came out with Doki, I was like, oh no. Narita won. Show's winning, isn't he? Like I had so much thing, but when he did it in 14 seconds, I think that was perfect storytelling because he battled the top guys. And he knew that Show was going to do everything. So he brought out a different side. However, everyone knows, as the world's biggest Master Wato fan, I'm not going to lie, at first I thought Yo was going to come out. Because obviously he made his, albeit very Yo-like, return before. But to see Master Wato, like SP3 was saying, it was such a nice thing. Because before he got injured, he was getting to that top. He'd done the thing with Despy. Everything seemed perfect. And like, we've been speaking about this, that the junior division has been sort of lacking, not in the sense of talent, but quantity, because people have been injured, like left, right, and center. But with Yo coming back, and now Wato, and I don't think Despy will be here for Junior Tag League, but maybe in a few months. It feels like we're slowly getting back to it. And yeah, I agree. I think Wato should be the one to dethrone Doki. And I think if he does, Doki has still had an amazing run. He's beat the best in the junior division. He's beat the trickster, the one that nobody can beat because of his shenanigans. But still, plus he's going into Royal Quest as a champion. So everything for me from this was like, right, how's this going to impact Royal Quest?
That's all she focused on. Hey, I'm focused on it too. I'll be there. J-News, what did you think about this quick victory for Doki? But most of all, what did you think about Master Wato's return?
Master Wato, the way to the Grandmaster, man. It is now returned to us. I feel like as much as I want Wato to win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, right? As much as I want that to happen, because we've been on this road since the very beginning with Master Wato.
From the time he came back to nobody and teamed with Taguchi and we had Tenzan on his side, we were there.
And everybody was doubting me. Everybody was telling me, man, this Master Wato kid sucks. What are you talking about? Why are you a fan of him?
Everybody is me.
Yeah. I remember because I was always like, oh no, I think he's got it. Because obviously he did like his excursion and I saw him in there. Me and J-News always like pro, and you were like, no, Wato's shit. And you know what? Proved you wrong.
He proved me wrong. It was that Wrestle Kingdom 4-way with Despy, Ishimori, and Hiromu first, and then him winning the Best of Super Juniors that turned me around.
Everyone's on their way to the Grandmaster now.
Yeah. So at this point, I want to also say, to SP3's point, Doki's run as IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion has been great. And I think that it cannot end. And I've been saying this for months now. And SP3 thinks I'm a little crazy for saying this. Man, listen. Wato needs a couple of wins under his belt before he can challenge for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. The only standard bearer left for Doki to compete against in New Japan Pro Wrestling just made his return to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Give me Kushida versus Doki. Give me Doki for the win. And
has he ever faced Kushida?
no, absolutely not. No.
Maybe in the best of Super Juniors. No.
Maybe an off-screen Super Junior match a couple of years ago, or whatever. But I would say for the championship, give me that. And if New Japan is brazen enough to give Doki the win there, you can take the belt off of him after that match happens. Doki will be cemented in the IWGP Junior Heavyweight lineage of champions because the reign has been great. This new wrinkle into his character now with the face paint and how he screwed his face up. It was
kind of freaky, wasn't it?
I was like, what is he doing with this?
Too early for this. It's too early for this.
I was like, I was okay, cool. And then he spit the red mist. So that was cool. I'm always a mark for the missed spots. It always takes me back to my childhood at the end of the day. So no, I think you had a thought come to your mind.
Yeah, Doki and Taka faced each other. No, Doki and Kushida faced each other twice, 2023 Best of Super Junior and this year in the Best of Super Junior as well.
Really? Damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so did I. I was like searching. I was on Cage Match, and they had the two tag team matches. So it was Doki and Kanemaru versus Kevin Knight and Kushida in 2022. Then 2023 Best of Super Junior Doki versus Kushida. 2023 Doki and Taka versus Kevin Knight and Kushida, and then 2024 Doki versus Kushida.
There we go. Yeah, I was like, they had to verse in the tournament.
But it wasn't for the belt. I say make it for the.
You still want to get Kushida? He's already got a belt. Let him stay in the tag league.
All I'm saying is now that Doki's the champion and he wants to solidify his reign as IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Let him be the former champion as champion, so that can give him a little bit more boost as well, and then Wato could take the strap off of Doki.
J-News is right though, because he's done all of the pillars, and I guess when you think of pillars who are still juniors, still in New Japan, Kushida is the only one left.
It's Kush to God, man. You can't do anything else but it. You know what I'm saying? Unless they want to go unless they want to really, turn everything on its head and have the Jet Kevin Knight beat Doki.
Yes, I would take that. I would happily have that.
I would not mind that. But Dustin, you did not call it now. I called it on our preview. He says 4-way matchup at the Dome for the junior title. Yo, Doki, Wato, and Despy.
No, that can't happen. That can't happen because I will lose my mind inside the arena. If those
That's what we want to see now. I
will record my reaction to that. Because that would just be me just like trying not to have a meltdown seeing 4 of my favorite wrestlers in one match.
Lovely. I need it now. Then you had the semi-main event here for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. It was David Finlay defending against Hiroki Goto. Goto's offense, he was hitting him hard early on, fueled by the desire to win the gold in front of his son and daughter, because Finlay asked for his kids to be there, like in their G1 matchup. Finlay was basically taunting the kids throughout the opening of this matchup. He started tossing chairs in front of them at the barricade, but Goto was able to persevere and make his comeback, weakening his challenger. Finlay rested after hitting an Irish curse backbreaker. After a rapid rush of offense, Finlay survived a reverse GTR with a clothesline. He battered Goto while taunting his children. Goto fired back, hitting a big lariat. He looked like he wanted to put things away with a series of sleepers, but he refused to. Finlay actually got some sleepers on, and he refused to quit. Following a brief escape, Goto hit Ushigoroshi, and then he hit GTW. Neither was able to get him the victory. He tried for a GTR, but to no avail. He tried for a Shoten Kai, but he was only able to get a near fall. Capitalizing on a Gato distraction, Finlay hit the into oblivion, but Goto was able to kick out. but Finley finally put things away, hitting the overkill, looking straight at his goddamn kids while pinning them. 1, 2, 3. I literally tweeted out before this matchup because I saw the video package and then I saw his kids there. I was like, New Japan ain't really gonna have Goto lose in front of his kids, right? Like, do y'all know that's gonna be mentally damaging for them? Oh my god, they did it. And oh my god, his daughter started crying. I was like, this shouldn't be this funny to me.
Twisted. SP3, that's what you are. Twisted,
but oh my god, New Japan, y'all are savages, and Finley cemented himself as the biggest scumbag in New Japan Pro Wrestling. As he's bragging, he's laughing at the kid doing the the crying face. It was a really good matchup. I gave it 3 3/4 stars. These two guys really went out there, had a hard-hitting matchup. They made me convinced that Goto could win a couple of times. I was like, just hit the GTR, but he was never able to do it. And then Finley winning really kind of cements him. He's really come into his own as a top heel in New Japan. And this was further getting him the heat that he needs, making a little girl cry. Then post-match, this man goes out and he challenges another person he lost to in the G1. He says he has one more loss he needs to rectify, and he calls out Yuya Uemura, who is injured. So he knew he wasn't coming out. Instead, he gets Tai Chi of Just Five Guys. Tai Chi says that he wasn't in the G1. Yes, he is just the partner of Uemura, but he's going to step up in his place and face Finley. Finley tries to hit him with the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, but Tai Chi drops him with the dangerous backdrop driver. He then gets on the mic and says that he's coming for the title, and this seems to set up a IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship matchup for Power Struggle in November. What did you think about the matchup? Goto's daughter crying and Tai Chi's challenge, Sanal.
I felt bad as well because I was watching this. It's like a conflicting because like you, there was so many moments I thought Goto was going to win. I was like, he's going to get it. It's finally, we've got the new Intercontinental Championship because like obviously Goto was known for that and I never won. But like, especially when like the daughter started crying and I felt really bad. I was like, I'm gutted, but it also shows how good Finley is doing as a heel. Do you know what I mean? Worlds away from what we thought. And what I like is there was a moment where there was quite a few moments where the crowd started really cheering cumulatively for both of them. And Finley, whenever Finley sensed it, he did something to make the crowd turn on him again. And I think this is when, for the last show, we were speaking about Great O'Khan, his inability to realize what place he's in and change it. Whereas Finley knew he was going in as heel, and he knew rather than continuing to do a certain thing, he did a slight action just to get the crowd back firmly on Goto's side. And I think going into this, we knew it was going to be a good match because Finley and Goto individually are very consistent workers. Goto is very good with his character work, you know, I mean, like samurai heart and everything. But Finley really made this. He made it go from a match to a story, from the build up to everything going on. Simple things of like having Yoshihashi on the side and stuff, and and then again to add heel to it. My next challenger, I want it to be someone who's injured. Do you know what I mean? Like a haha in your face thing. And then obviously you all know how I feel about Tai Chi. So I don't know, somewhere in my head, I'd love to think that Tai Chi is going to win it. 80% of the time, probably not. But I can dream that Tai Chi might win and go into Wrestle Kingdom as champion. But all I know is that it's going to be interesting to see that because Tai Chi, while he's not a heel anymore, is still not a proper babyface. So it's going to be interesting to see that dynamic because I don't feel like Finley has had that in a title match yet. Someone who's willing to really break the rules.
No, he's racing really kind of like the white meat baby faces in his last two defenses in Bishamon. But Finley is really coming to his own as a heel champion because I always say the mark of a great heel champion is making me believe a babyface challenger that I otherwise would have thought had no chance of winning has a chance to win. And he did that in the Yoshihashi match, and he did that here against Goto. J-News, What do you think about Tai Chi as the next challenger for David Finlay?
I like it because the Emperor needs something to do. Our Holy Emperor needs something to do. And they need to re-solidify just 5 guys as a stable, as a faction. I know that the two of you are have stated that David Finlay has come into his own as IWGP Global Champion and as a character and things of that nature. I will always respect your opinions about how David Finlay is looking on television. I, for one, am never one to side with someone who makes children cry.
No, Jamie, now you're making me and SP3 out to be really bad people.
He took the lowest hanging fruit that there was, and he made a man's daughter cry. What are we doing here? Come on, that to me,
never been so proud.
That to me is essentially cheap heat if I've ever seen.
No, come on.
no, it was a long storyline. It was,
and for me, I will never give that young man that sort of credit at all. He's not getting it from me. Not now. Not never.
I'm gonna tell. I'm meeting Finlay on Sunday, and I'm gonna be like, right. So it's like, I know someone J-News. He will never, like, he thinks you're the scum because you made a child cry.
Exactly, absolutely.
And record his response, and we'll play it on the next time we're on.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? For me, that's just, you just can't do that sort of thing, man. I ain't with the shits, and I'm not gonna stand for it. I feel that at this point, our Holy Emperor should do the Lord's work and put a whooping on David Finlay and hopefully take that championship. That even though Hiroki Goto wasn't able to do it, but I do know that David Finlay seems to be on this road to Wrestle Kingdom to have that 1-year anniversary with this Global Heavyweight Championship. Technically, right? Because he lost it somewhere in between there, and then
he lost it to Nick Nemeth, and then he got it back.
But we don't really talk about that, are we? That's a little.
I mean, it is what it is. But I feel like Tai Chi in the meantime, in between time, is a good challenger for David Finlay. Him going through the likes of Goto and Tai Chi and Yoshihashi, those guys from that era of New Japan. But we'll see how he can do once he gets to Wrestle Kingdom, and if it all comes to fruition, as you said, SP3, and we get Big Suge versus David Finlay at Wrestle Kingdom. Big Suge should get his big win at Wrestle Kingdom, and he should have a fitting coronation. And usually January is that time of the year where a lot of wrestlers' contracts expire. So we might never see David Finlay again after that match.
Oh my God! Stop pushing that agenda.
So I said we might. I'm not here trying to tell you that it's gonna happen. I'm just saying.
You just wish it happened.
That's what you're manifesting it into the universe.
I'm just saying, due to trends of culture in professional wrestling, things like this do occur. I'm saying it might. I'm not saying that it will. I'm not clairvoyant. I'm not telling you that he's gonna.
If Negro Buck is watching this on demand, we need a disclaimer for J-News. We need one. We do have a super chat donation here from J-News #1 fan, Genesis J, who agrees with him. He says the top heel is Shooter, it seems. Nepo baby wishes. But we're going to talk.
We're going to get to that.
We have to talk about that.
Let's talk about the main event of this show. Zack Sabre Jr., the G1 Climax 34 winner, challenging Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. No one moved at the bell of this matchup, but the crowd were voicing their excitement for this battle. They locked up. Sabre Jr. contorted Naito into different transitions. He continued to work on the legs of the champion, the bad knees, but temporarily let his fury get the best of him as Naito spat in his face. Zack Sabre Jr. goes for the Article 50, causing Naito to wrench in agony. Naito shifted the trajectory of the matchup, focusing on the neck and the shoulder of Sabre Jr. He got him in the Puma Placa, then targeting the arms and shoulders of Naito in kind. Sabre Jr. started working out his plan, going after the neck, but Naito went back to the neck of Sabre Jr., hitting a big tornado DDT that sent Zack flying into the ropes. Love how commentary tickled in certain elements of Zack's kind of repertoire and his style, that he doesn't like to go for the ropes. So him having to go for the ropes for certain submissions from Naito had to kill him inside, and it was Naito kind of playing his mind games. A Destino, spinning Destino, running Destino almost got him the win, but Zack was able to kick out, trapping the champion in the Clarky Cat at one point. Sabre Jr. looked like he was going to pull the lead in this one. But Naito was able to get his foot on the rope. But Zack Sabre Jr. pulls out the God-style power driver to a huge pop from this Ryogoku crowd. You get the great call by Chris Charlton saying the king just helped him with that one, pulling out a page from his mentor, Minoru Suzuki's playbook. He goes for the Zack driver, but Naito's able to reverse it into a second Destino, but Sabre Jr. kicks out again. Zack continuously tried to go for the Zack driver, but Naito was able to escape until Zack lariats Naito landing on the back of his neck. He then finally hits the first Zack's driver, but he only gets a 1 count. Naito gets immediately to his feet, so Zack picks him up for a second Zack driver, and he only gets a 2 count. Finally, Zack hits a leg trap Zack driver. 1, 2, 3. Zack Sabre Jr. is your new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion in an excellent main event matchup. These two guys had Ryogoku Sumo Hall on their feet. They were rumbling throughout the last 5 minutes of this match, fully engaged into this one. I gave it 4.5 stars. This was an excellent, tremendous effort from both men. Naito pulling out one last great match out of his pocket to lose the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship here to ZSJ. Zack gets on the mic and he thanked a smiling but bittersweet Tetsuya Naito, who looked back, looking at Zack, and he tells him that he's here to stay in New Japan Pro Wrestling despite winning the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. But Zack didn't get to celebrate long before a nicely suited Sonata came out to officially challenge Zack for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at Royal Quest, which Zack accepts. But then we get Shoto Umino came out to huge boos from Ryogoku Sumo Hall. Me and J-News mentioned earlier when Naito got booed before officially challenging Okada in 2013 ahead of Wrestle Kingdom 8. This was very reminiscent of that. This was the Stardust genius that the crowd just doesn't accept in this spot in the main event scene. They don't accept Shoto Umino, which I think is going to lead to him turning heel and becoming his true self. So I was happy for this moment. But the bigger challenger was Shingo Takagi, the reigning never openweight champion. You had Shooter saying that he beat Zack in the G1, so he wants a shot. Shingo Takagi said him and Zack are 1-1, so he wants a shot to prove he's the better man. Shooter says, I beat the both of you in the G1, so I should get the shot. All vying for an opportunity at Zack Sabre Jr. He promised them all each a chance. He says first he will take care of Sonata, and then he told them that he will figure anything out with the rest of them. He then told them to get out so he could celebrate with EMDK, sending out a great message of cutting his promo in Japanese and English. This was an incredible way to close this show because not only is Zack Sabre Jr. the mark of a new era in New Japan Pro Wrestling, finally getting the mantle of the top gaijin in NJPW, the second ever British-born wrestler to win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. But I love how they laid out how we're going to get to Wrestle Kingdom. And it's really about who between Shingo and Shooter is going to get that shot. I say you put them against each other at Power Struggle with the winner versus Zack at Wrestle Kingdom. But this was just beautiful. You saw Mikey Nichols and Heartland Jackson crying in the ring as Zack was celebrating with the fans and the crowds in Ryogoku. I nearly had tears in my eyes watching this. No one deserved it better than Zack Sabre Jr. All of his hard work paying off. And it feels like poetic justice that the man that passed him the torch as the greatest technical wrestler in the world, AEW's own Bryan Danielson, retires from his full-time career. And then 2 days later, the new king of technical wrestling is coronated IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Beautiful stuff. And then we also got to mention that, yes, it is official. IWGP World Heavyweight Championship this Sunday, Royal Quest. It will be Zack Sabre Jr. versus Sanada. Sanaa, we'll start with you. He brought it home.
So you said you nearly had a tear. I did. Like, I don't get emotional much over wrestling. The 2 times before this I got emotional was Doki winning the IWGP Junior Championship and Zack winning the G1. But this again just made me feel so happy. Like you said, Naito has had a rough time, but he pulled out everything on this match. He was like, right, if Zack's going to win, I don't want it to make it look like he had an easy win. And he didn't. Throughout that, Zack was having moments where bits of his body was hurting, and you could see the members of TMDK urging him to go on. And yeah, I loved how just everything fitted together. Like, at some points, because going into this, like, I was saying this, like, yes, every match is independent, but as New Japan fans, we always try and think. So we think, oh, but if Shingo wins here, but does that mean that Zack's lose? Do you know what I mean? So there was still like a part of me that thought, right, Naito could actually do it. And again, as he was in much better shape this match, I thought, oh, okay, he's doing it because he wants to prove he deserves this. But when he won, it's like Zack's face was just like, it was a picture. It was amazing to see. And the crowd went insane. Like I always say that there's like a sea of red for LIJ or a sea of green for Empire. It was a sea of orange.
Yeah.
Like Ryogoku, like that is his home, I guess. Like he always said that's why he wanted to have his match there. And just everything felt right about it. Like commentary did it, like, I mean, I don't think, because I've not mentioned this, but commentary did amazing throughout this. Like everything was perfect. And I like how they ended it with the whole, you know, like Naito quietly going off and Zack giving as much respect as you'll ever get from Zack Sabre Jr. But then the slow progression, like Sanada is interesting because the crowds expected Sanada was going to be next. And as subtle as Sanada is, he's still a big crowd favorite. So that's what they gave. Sanada came up dressed. That is what caused the reaction from Shota as well. Not only the fact that he doesn't seem to have the crowd's connection, so which has cemented this. Because I know we've always said Western fans aren't a fan of Shota, but we've been like, oh, well, Japanese fans are. He goes through the crowd. This should now be a staple of like, you need to do something different. Because Shingo didn't get the boos. Shingo did basically the exact same thing Shota did. He would have interrupted Sanada, who, God, he looked very handsome in that suit, guys. Like, I'm not on the show. I'm going to turn up dapperly dressed. But now, like, because even, like, I think Shota almost got that. Like, in his promo, there was almost a bit of edge to him, which wasn't babyface. And I think he's starting to realize that. And you're very right in terms of the whole Stardust thing. This happened to Naito, and it's quite interesting that it's happening to Shota after a Naito match. I think New Japan now need to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
I know that Shota and ELP are doing this whole, they want to bring Hontai, they want to strengthen it. But if they're smart, they'll have something where they move Hontai away, or they move at least ELP, Shota, maybe Bolton, Oleg to a bit of a darker side. Because you need to realize you can't push him as a babyface anymore. Like, even Sanada, who's not getting pushed as a main guy at the moment, is getting better reactions. He wasn't even on the show. But I was worried, right? Because the show had been amazing up to that. Aside from Narita winning, everything had gone perfectly. Do you know what I mean? Even we got 14 seconds of show. Wato came back, and I was like, they're not going to give it me. But like, I'm not going to say too much because we'll probably say at the end when we do ratings. But it was the perfect end to the show. I couldn't believe it, and I was just like, this, like, it makes it worth it because you know how dedicated Zack is to New Japan, how much he has been.
Yeah.
And for it to come full circle, and especially because I think we've had a British person win the heavyweight championship with Ospreay, but we've not had a British guy, and there's very few Gaikokujins. Maybe is it just Kenny who won the G1 and then gone on to win the title, or is it just
Kenny didn't win the title.
Yeah. So exactly, so he's one of few G1 winners who are not Japanese, and he's probably the only guy who has capitalized on that, won the G1 and then won the title. Yes,
He's the first guy to do it, to win
like
the G1 and then win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship because of it.
Yeah, and even better is he did it his own way. He didn't wait for Wrestle Kingdom. He did it at this point, and I think it was perfect.
Agreed there. J-News, what did you think about this main event and the post-match?
Yeah, man. I thought I talked about it a lot when we first opened the stream today. I feel like this was the right move. You know, having ZSJ be the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion makes the most sense, just due to just the physical condition of Naito and everybody else's all the other veteran Japanese wrestlers immediate positions in the company right now. It just made the most sense to make Zack Sabre Jr. the champion at this point. For the life of me, the post-match part of it all, when I saw Sonata come out, I said, yeah, this makes sense. They have their match scheduled for Royal Quest and all that stuff. Sonata wearing his light yellow suit or whatever that is out there, just out there in his very stylish threads as he usually is. And then I thought it would, like, for me in my head, it was okay. It makes sense. Sonata got him at the next event, so Sonata's out here to plead his case and actually challenge for the championship and things of that nature. And then for us to get Shooter Umino walking out there, and that chorus of boos that hit the crowd when Umino hit the scene, I was like, wow, this crowd really is not behind Umino. Like, and to Sanal's point, or maybe something you said earlier, I'll say it this way: New Japan has got to be aware of where the fans lie with Shooter. If the fans are booing him, you need to lean into this, embrace it, and make him a heel. Now. And I think Sonal knows where I'm going with this, just whether laughing.
Don't make him house of torture.
Exactly. Bingo.
Move him away from that.
Move him away from that, right? Move him away from that. Don't make him that guy, right?
No, but now J-News has said it. That's what's gonna happen. He's manifesting.
Exactly. You can't say it.
Let's not put him in the house of torture. I think it would be a viable thing to do, right? If I'm counting correctly, I'm counting correctly. If Shooter were to become the lone Japanese member of the War Dogs, it might make some sense. And to a point, not saying that this will happen, you know me, I'm a big proponent of Gabe Kidd. But if New Japan wants to turn everything on its head, and if my prognostications come to be reality, like I said, if he ends up losing, if David Finlay ends up losing a big Suge in Wrestle Kingdom, there's consequences to losses. And then you might need.
God, he's always trying to force this on this. Like, he's always walking us back to this.
You might need a new leader to step in, and it might just not be Gabe Kidd. If you turn Shooter at Wrestle Kingdom and you have him come out and beat down David Finlay,
no,
right?
it would make more sense for David Finlay to bring Shooter into Bullet Club War Dogs and Gabe not liking it. And Gabe, you turn Gabe into your anti-hero.
I think the thing is though, I don't
know if we're ready for Gabe being the anti-hero yet.
I also think that when we speak about Gabe being a leader, he can't be the leader. I don't think it works for
he's
him.
a madman. He's a madman. He can't
He's
be a leader as a
madman.
madman. So, no, but in all seriousness though, I think that I feel like if Shooter joins the War Dogs, that would be from a heel perspective, that would work better than him joining House of Torture, because that would just be the shits of the shits, and then you're just giving the kid nothing at the end of the day.
You know that maybe those rumors about him and Gabe were right, and they really not invested in
man,
him.
like you gotta force them boys to do business, and if they're gonna be part of the same crew, you know what I'm saying? So, because to the point, I'm just trying to make.
he starts the Blackpool Combat Club Japan.
Wow. No, I don't see that happening.
Hey, he's embracing his mentor, John Moxley, and his new attitude.
I mean, unless and I think New Japan can do this just because it's New Japan. They do still have a couple of guys who are on excursion. Maybe you give Shooter his own faction, his own heel faction, if you want to do it that way.
And Nakashima.
Yeah, something. Give him something.
Yeah, ELP would be good for that.
No. ELP, we got to try the we got to
ELP
try
is the babyface.
Yeah, we got to try babyface ELP for a while. ELP's been a heel for a long time.
We do like babyface ELP. It's fun to see the hearts.
Yeah.
We've already booked. ELP is the person who's going to dethrone Ren Narita at Wrestle Kingdom. So
I'll happily say that.
We've already booked that. We do have a super chat donation here from Genesis J. Thank you so much, Genesis J. Once again, he says ZSJ is the main event of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
He is New Japan now.
Yeah, he is New Japan now. But yeah, to end my rant there. Shooter either being a part of the New War Dogs or getting his own heel faction works best. That House of Torture, keep him away from the House of Torture best. Just
keep anyone away from House of Torture.
Just keep him away from that. He doesn't need that. He needs something else. And if he can lean into being, I don't know what kind of a heel he would be, but whatever kind of heel they turn him into, is going to be a proponent of his own imagination and his own creative juices at the end of the day. And obviously taking whatever kind of advice he takes from whoever he takes it from. But yeah, Shooter, we had Takagi then come out after Shooter because Shingo's got a gripe, obviously, so it's like, yeah, it makes sense, man. Now everybody's going to come after Zack. Zack's the main man. He's the main character. So great finish. I appreciated the fact that Zack was able to kick everybody out of the ring so he could continue his celebration.
It's the fact he was saying that Sanada was going too slow. He's like, oh, sorry. Because Sanada takes his time with everything.
I mean, that's just his style. That's really just his style. He takes his time with everything. Yeah, man. Congratulations are in order for ZSJ. I saw a lot of congratulatory tweets to him from some of his friends in the business. Chris Brooks being one of them. Shouts to Jonah, aka
Gunther, showing some love to him. Gunther, showing some love to him on Twitter,
aka Walter to me. God damn it.
That's a totally different guy. Walter was fat. That guy's not. But he did have some history with Zack. But yeah, everybody's showing love to Zack. No one worked harder for this moment than Zack Sabre Jr. He deserves this so much. But you have to tip the cap to Tetsuya Naito, who he went out on his shield. He went out like we saw in the past 48 hours. We saw two like battered, bruised warriors go out on their shields in great matches to lose titles between Bryan Danielson at Wrestle Dream and then Naito this morning at King of Pro Wrestling. So tip of the cap to Naito, but I think that Naito will face Hiromu Takahashi at Wrestle Kingdom.
Maybe.
That's the wave. That's the wave.
I'll take that.
We've come to the end, so sound off in the live chat. Final call for super chat donations, and of course, let us know your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP. Out of 10, what did you give the show? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, for me, J-News, and Sanal for NJPW King of Pro Wrestling 2024 in 3, 2, 1.
If I
Thumbs
could have
up.
if I had a third thumb, I'd put the third thumb up as well.
Thumbs up across the board from all of us. Sanal, out of 10, what did you give the show?
9.75.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The 0.25 is show, but like I said, that was short. I know it's probably really high, and everyone's like, "Sonal, is it that good?" But again, like everyone knows that when I do these ratings, they come from my heart. Everything went right, as I wanted it. Like Doki did amazing. Wato came back. Zack Sabre Jr. won. The opening matches, because I know you discussed it, and because I was listening, but I wasn't there. Even the heavyweight tag match, which I didn't expect to enjoy it like that much. Do you know what I mean? There was nothing on the card that wasn't good. Like even the triple threat, it worked in the right way. Just I think out of I can't remember how much I rated Wrestle Kingdom, but for me, this was overall just from start to end a very good card. So yeah, that's
I think this is on par with Wrestle Kingdom for me. So I give it a 9 out of 10. This is one of the better New Japan shows. I think this Wrestle Kingdom, Battle in the Valley, those are like the best New Japan shows that I've seen this year. J-News.
Oh man. Ratings wise, I would say yeah, a solid 9 out of 10 is a good way to be. Just because of where it landed, ZSJ winning. I think out of giving it the -1 goes into to piggyback off of what Sanal said, show for that 14 seconds, and then also got to add in that Ren Narita win because that was just bullshit at the end of the day.
But we said this was gonna happen. I think we did that. We like ages ago. We even like mentioned it that this was probably gonna be.
Yeah, but not this way. Not on Jeff Cobb. Not
at the loss of Jeff Cobb.
Yeah. It's like it just doesn't. It's not the. Yeah, nah. But yeah, solid 9 out of 10. Second best show out of the year so far for New Japan Pro Wrestling, in my opinion. There, much more New Japan to go. We have a stateside show going down. We have Power Struggle. We have historic crossover. The tag league stuff to still end out the year. So lots of New Japan still to come before the year is out. And shout outs to everybody who made their returns. The good brother Yo, Master Wato. Glad to see the young boys back in the building. Because they're part of this new generation, no matter what anybody else wants to think or not. Labeled three musketeers or not, or whatever. There's a whole to use a term, there's a whole conglomeration of this new generation that is involved in Japan. And Wato and Yo, even though Yo's is more of a senior than anybody else, but he's still a young dude. I don't think Yo's even 30 yet.
He is 30.
He's 30. Yeah.
30.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it.
MVP, I think it's obvious for me.
Sure.
Zack Sabre Jr.
ZSJ for MVP. Yeah, ZSJ for MVP.
Yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. ZSJ.
We're all in agreement there. LVP, House of Torture, but if you want to be specific, show.
Yeah, show. Show is the LVP. To quick shout out to Caveman Ugg for putting on a slight banger for the short amount of time he was in the ring. Yeah. Good looks for Oiwa, in his match, even though that was also a short duration match and things of that nature. Also LVP, bro, Shooter Umino, brother. God damn,
I'm not giving him LVP. Fuck out of here.
Well.
That's a game-changing moment. We're talking about him. We were talking about him as much as we were talking about Naito and Zack. Like,
hold on. I'm saying LVP because he spent all this time trying to get into the good graces of the fans. He was there for the kids. We was been saying shoulders for the kids. They turned his back on him, man.
That was the biggest reaction he's gotten yet. So I don't give him no LVP.
Can I give a special MVP?
Yeah.
The outfits that Tana, ELP, and Shoto wore on the way to the ring.
Gladiator 2 outfits. That's true. That's true.
Oh my
And
God.
match of the night, it's Zack Sabre Jr. versus Naito for me. So now,
Yeah, I want to give a special shout out to Shingo versus Oiwa though, because that is they always. I say that a Young Lions return match like is always a big standout, and I think this is a really good step for him. Like obviously Naito versus that, but we knew that there would be magic. But I think Oiwa has proved that he is someone. Like I think this is one of commentary mentioned that the Reiwa Musketeers are probably going to be shaking in their boots because Oiwa has come back and has really benefited from his time in Noah, and I think he is definitely going to be someone to watch out for.
Yeah,
indeed.
That
J-News.
class after the Rewa boys, they got something for those Rewa boys, man. You know what I'm saying? So, shout. I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned this in our preview or not, but Oscar Loibe and Yuto Nakashima are actually WXW tag team champions. So props to those boys. So for doing big things out in Germany, and in the UK. So we should be seeing them back soon enough. So that's something to look out for.
As long as Yuto doesn't get injured.
Yeah, he was injured while away as well. So it was his return match for these tag team championships. But
he always gets injured at the start.
Yeah,
Got injured when he debuted as a Young Lion. Injured on the first part of his excursion. We can't keep doing this.
Yeah. He seems to be, that injury bug seems to bite him quite a bit. But I just that solid show, good show. We got what we wanted from the main event. New things looming. Obviously, like we said, hopefully Gato and Dick Togo and whoever else is writing for New Japan right now, Rocky Romero and all those guys, they really do lean on Shooter getting that heel those boos, and he leans into that. You know what I'm saying? I just hope, for the sake of all six, that we don't see Shooter Umino do one of two things. Right? Like I said, join the House of Torture. Mm-hmm. Secondarily, I do not want to see Shooter Umino walk down to a ring with a plastic bag in its goddamn hand. SP3, no plastic bags in Shooter Umino's hand.
He's gonna do it to Tanahashi. That's how he turns heel.
I was confused. I was like, wait, and then I was like, oh god. Okay, yeah.
He's gonna put a plastic bag over Tanahashi's head. There we go.
Imagine.
But I think it wouldn't work for Tana because Tana's not like very anti-plastic. Like it works for Bryan Danielson because he's like, no,
it's a plastic. He's trying to suffocate him. He's gonna take him out.
It's about the suffocation.
That's a symbol.
Yeah.
It's not even about the recyclable. But we've come to the end of our review here. Thank you, Sanal, for showing up, showing some love to us. I know you're busy, so want to give you the floor. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media when they will see you again.
Yeah, so you can follow me on social media at wrestling_chat. Make sure to subscribe to Sonal's Life. I literally 2 hours ago put out a review of the entire show. And obviously, make sure to subscribe because I'm going to be at Royal Quest. SP3 is going to be there. Hopefully, he's going to be on my vlog. I'm going to do the meet and greet. And again, I'm going to be at Wrestle Kingdom. So if you want insider stuff, make sure to hit subscribe. And again, if you follow me wrestling_chat, you will know when I'm going to be back on this beautiful channel.
There you go. J-News, let everybody know where they can follow you.
You can follow me on the internets, on the socials, man. John LYFNMG. Also follow me on the Hit the Ropes podcast, which airs every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me and the lovely Dolores talk all things pro wrestling that happened during the week. So catch me on there on Dolores' YouTube channel. We're working on some other things so that people have more access to the podcast in the coming weeks. So look out for that. I'll let you guys know via X, Twitter, /Instagram, / wherever the hell else you catch your good brother J-News. And always catch me here on True Heel Heat, talking that New Japan goodness. Shout out and appreciation to SP3 for having me on during the week to talk some AEW. So that was something that I appreciated there. But yeah. You know, your good brother's always going to be here for that New Japan goodness. And I think we have a preview coming up as per Royal Quest.
Indeed.
So
that will probably be on Friday.
Yeah, look out for that this week. preview wise, and then it's still going to be busy for your good brother J-News going into the later part of the year. We have a Power Struggle to cover. We have the New Japan US show to cover. I forget what is that show called?
We got what is it? Fighting Spirit Unleashed, and then Strong Style of Evolve is the final two.
Right. Those two
US
final
shows. And then we got to do Super Junior Tag League, World Tag League as well. So a lot of New Japan coverage
There's
for
also
you
the
guys to
Stardom
enjoy.
show, isn't there?
Yeah, historic
Joint
crossover
Stardom.
as well.
Crossover to do as well there. So yeah.
You can follow me on the Twitter machine at True Hill Heat. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. And check out all the great content we got on the channel right now, like our Wrestle Dream review from yesterday with myself, True Jaw Josh, and Professor Chris. Check out the Flash Hit podcast, True Hill Heat 298 from this past week as well. But until next time, for Sonal, for J-News, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. I will be back tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time with Rated Raw reviewing tonight's Monday Night Raw. But until then, this has been our NJPW King of Pro Wrestling 2024 review. We are signing off until next time.